We cover leadership throughout the year in a variety of ways. It's one of our core areas of coverage. But the leadership issue is really an opportunity for us to shine a really bright light on the key issues and challenges facing college presidents, and to try to frame up the biggest questions and really put our flag on it. Hi, I'm Evan Goldstein. I'm the managing editor of the Chronicle. As we were putting the finishing touches on this issue, a longtime colleague, Liz McMillan, was cleaning out her office and found an article clipping from 1989, and the headline on it was "The Impossible College Presidency." It profiled the then president of Smith College, and it really highlighted the way in which fundraising had become a kind of all-consuming task for the college president at the expense of all the variety of other things they could be doing. And reading it, as we were closing this leadership issue in 2024, it was a reminder that in some ways we've been here before. In some ways, everyone's always saying the sky is falling, and yet creative, thoughtful leaders do find their way through, and in the process, redefine the role they inhabit. The college presidency has always been a difficult job, even in the best of times, and this last year was very much not the best of times. You had a series of issues come to bear on leaders that really put a great deal of stress on the people filling these roles. You had protest movements that led to encampments, that led to congressional inquiries around anti-Semitism on campus. You've got a series of financial issues that are putting much more pressure on college budgets and are leading presidents to have to make some really difficult decisions around cuts, the kind of thing that does not earn them friends on campus. And all this is coming together in a way that's adding a great deal of stress to the role, and is leading people to pose a question that felt fundamentally new to us, and is the question that we tried to build the issue around, which is that has this job, which has always been difficult, is it becoming impossible? We tried to get at that question in a variety of ways. We put together a forum featuring presidents and ex-presidents to discuss the challenges and opportunities that they're most engaged in. And each person really took it in a different direction, from navigating the upending of college athletics to looking at issues of free speech on campus, to how higher ed is uniquely bad at succession planning and sort of grooming the next generation of leadership. Another way we tried to get at the question of sort of what's the lived experience of the presidency now is we had one of our leadership reporters, David Jesse, spend a year tracking the first year of a first-time president. In this case, it's Ann Cudd at Portland State University. And you really get a sense of how someone comes in on a rush of optimism and big plans, and how those can easily get upended when they come into conflict with reality. We also have an essay from Holden Thorpe, who's the former chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Holden looks at how the role has shifted in recent years and essentially makes the argument that what the role increasingly requires is a kind of technocratic manager and not the kind of academic visionary that it was the traditional mold of a university president. As we were closing the issue, news came that Jonathan Holloway, the president of Rutgers University, is going to step down at the end of this academic year. This is someone who started his presidency during COVID. It then moved into a very fractious strike with the union on campus that the governor of New Jersey ultimately got involved with. And then, of course, October 7th happened, and Rutgers had a very robust encampment, which ultimately led to Holloway being called before Congress to testify about anti-Semitism. In an interview, he really spoke to this concern that the job of the presidency, in his words, had become impossible. And that really stood out to us as another indication that something has fundamentally shifted in just the difficulty, the number of constituencies that you're responsible for as president, and whether people inhabiting that role are well positioned to succeed.